So you mentioned you guys put up a lot of expected goals in this game. You created plenty of chances. That seems to have maybe been a theme these last few games where you're creating chances and not quite finishing. And are you more encouraged by the creating of chances or frustrated by the lack of finishing?
Well, I think each game is a little different. When I look at the Galaxy game, obviously we're 2-0 up. And then you concede two. It's a little different than, conceding the first goal, getting yourself back in it, and then, creating at least four really clear-cut chances, at least four. And then, to concede at the end certainly puts a, negative spin on a lot of stuff. But, I think the games are different. I would say that we haven't played a complete game, and that's the thing that bothers me the most. The consistency that we had there for a while, that's gone missing. So that's what we're trying to fix.
When it comes to Pedro, I just wanted to get a little bit more on the injury, and is there any concern from you that you kind of have to go week to week figuring out if he will be eligible, might not be eligible? Where's that at?
Week to week, I'm still concerned. It's a tricky injury, and he hasn't gotten better. I mean, look, he looked good today. He had a cortisone injection last week. That might have been kicking action. It was like 10 days ago, and that might be kicking in. But it's a tricky injury. I elected to hold him out to try and get him better. And then, at the end of the day, I elected not to play him because I brought some other attacking guys on. That was, again, just the way the game unfolded. But I would have put him in. I think he's ready for minutes.
Brian, where are you at in terms of trying to find a steady 11 to 13, whatever number you have?
Well, that's a good question because one of the guys is gone. And then you've got some, real competition at different spots. So it's concerning.
You mentioned it, filling in for Obed Vargas. How difficult are those conversations and figuring out who's the best guy to put in there?
Well, we had a long coaches meeting this morning, plus long film, just to try and regroup a little bit. There's tough choices out there. There's real tough choices. We'll use today's training session as a little bit of a guide. Try different things. We have other stuff planned for tomorrow. My thoughts about playing with two forwards. We'll need to train that a little bit as well. So I have options.
Vancouver coming up. Just what do you see from them from afar over the course of not only the game you guys played against them, but over the season?
Well, I tried to forget the game up there. That was not our best performance. But Jesper's done a great job. I mean, he's got his team going again. So they started like a house on fire, had a little mid-season lull. Obviously, the signing, it's a big signing, and that's helped. But he's done it with Ryan Gauld sidelined for most of the year. Brian White's picked up a few injuries, so credit to him. He's still pushing the right buttons.
Brian, speaking of today's practice, is it fair, because you're going to use it as data, it looked like there was emphasis on pockets in the middle there, movement?
We always do that.
I didn't do, but it looked like there's extra emphasis, so that's just my bad eyes.
We've been good in that area, Maz, for all year long, and we're trying to get back to what we were doing well at the beginning or maybe the middle part of the year, because our first part of the year was okay. I mean, it was okay, but we caught fire kind of in that middle part of the year, so that's what we're trying to get back to.
Brian, aside from the not finishing and the great volume you guys have played, another thing that's been reoccurring thing has been just not being able to close out the games there at the end. Last minute, just guys on the wrong side of the ball.
Yep.
How are you hoping that you change that, especially going into this weekend?
Well, there's not one culprit for all of the plays, so that's the easy way. A coach just replaces the player. It's been different players at different times, different circumstances. The one common thread was the goal that the Galaxy took, that we took against Galaxy late in the game, came from a throw-in, a little just inside of our half of the field, but same idea, same objective, and then that goal, happened from a throw-in. So we talked about that. That was one of the biggest parts of film today. So that's a collective. But we're trying to get guys to play for 90 minutes. The focus has to be there. We got a short runway left. We got to get our act together.
What have you seen out of Jordan? The minutes that he's gotten, some of the passes, the involvement offensively.
He could have. I bring Georgie on and he scores. You guys always complain about my subs, Nico, Moreno.
That'd be good.
And, I bring Jordan and Jesus on and they score right. I would have been a genius. But it turns out I'm a goat, or not a goat, not the goat.
A goat, not the goat.
A goat, because our team lost. So, Jordan came on and did some good things. I did hold him accountable because those are chances that he needs to score. But he put himself in those positions to score. And they were good soccer plays. The one was just a clever little play and a movement and his pace. The second one was showing his strength and riding a challenge. So he's been good.
What have you made of that partnership, though, between Jesus and Jordan? I know they've both sort of spoken really excitedly about getting to play together, and it seemed like it showed some promise in this one.
Yeah. Well, again, Jordan has not been here for long parts of the season.
Right.
In the beginning part of the year, Jesus was, we're incorporating him into the team, and where did he fit? That whole rigmarole, was he on the left, in the middle, the right, up front? So now that Jesus has kind of settled into his position, we know what Jordan's position is. I can see him wanting to play together.
I want to make sure I fit this in. As a Seattle sports fan, a longtime Seattle guy, how much you enjoy
the Mariners?
Yeah.
Come on. Love it. Yeah, I love it. Griffey's one of our owners. He just got surpassed. Cal, nice job. Look, there's a lot of mojo with that team. Maybe they can give me some. Or maybe we started their mojo. I don't know.
I know you guys have a couple home games here. Do you maybe get out to a game at any point?
We'll see. I'll be knee deep in film.
Yeah.
Focus.
Good coach. That the goat.
Have you had a chance to interact with Dan Wilson at all ever?
Nope. Watching him play.
Rectify that.
Yeah. He's done a good job too.
Can you just? Jesus said he feels like he's 100% now. Is that your assessment as well in terms of his fitness?
Look, if it would have been a playoff game, I would have played him. The fact was, we had to make a decision because I didn't want to take a fatigued player that had heavy minutes on heavy travel, risk anything. It was just risk aversion.
With Obed living, do you feel like JP, is he a guy that's more ready for 60, 70? Well, where is he at right now, fitness-wise?
JP, we'd have to start him off a little less than that, but he's obviously one of the ones that might find some playing time when Obed's gone, and coming on as a sub late in a game to help us close out games. Might need some veteran presence like that.